guys love it because you're like, I'm goalie and I need strong groins. Hey gang, it's Marie here from GoalieTrainingPro.com with episode 27 of Goalie Training Pro TV. Today's episode is Do This, Not That. So we're going to look at some of the common exercises that you guys are probably doing in the gym, trying to build, strong legs, strong hips, but you could get way more bang for your buck doing something different. So the first one that we're going to look at is that knee extension machine. So it's a machine that you sit on, and then you straighten your legs, and it really gives your quads a great burn, and it feels good. And you look at your legs, and you see your muscles. You're like, yeah. But the problem is, our quadriceps don't really act just to do that. They don't act that way. There's stabilization involved, and deceleration and acceleration, and so we can get way more bang for our buck. In the gym here, because we want you to get that quad feeling, to work those quads. In the gym, one of the ones we use is a sled pull, but we can also do it with a cable. So you can do it in your gym. If you don't have an area that you can use a sled, you can do it in the gym. I've just put 2 handles on a relatively low pulley because I'm going to get nice and low in my legs. I'm going to keep a good neutral back, and then I'm pushing, and see how I'm getting good extension here from my legs, and then again I'm controlling it as I come back. I'm going to push, keeping a good neutral back position, so not letting my back round, keeping my shoulders back. So I'm getting nice closed chain quads, pushing and controlling. Another one that we could do to get your quads is a split squat. So the front leg is going to be a little more glute dominant, but the back leg is a good quad dominant movement pattern. So a nice split squat on both sides instead of doing your knee extension machine. The next one we're going to look at is the back squat. So the reason we don't back squat, and I haven't had an athlete back squat in the gym probably for at least 8 years, is because we can back squat heavy and poorly. So if I'm back squatting, I have a barbell on my back, and I squat, and I'm going to miss my lift, or I can't hold my position, I can still kind of get in a terrible position and bring it up. Whereas if I'm front squatting, and I get down here and I don't have it, I'm going to just drop that load. So I can't as easily front squat poorly and heavy. So we do a lot of front squat. Now, not everybody can get their elbows up to get the good front rack position. We've actually been using a safety squat bar this summer a little bit, so the pad is still on your back, but the way the bar is cambered, it centers the weight more over the front of you, like a front squat would. This isn't set for my height, but basically you come in underneath it, and it keeps it a little bit balanced for you. It still lets me keep my chest up nicely as I go through my squat pattern. So that's a tool we've been using this summer when we're doing our bilateral lifts like that. We do a lot of unilateral lifts in the gym because it gives us way more hip stabilization. So we'll use a lot of single leg squat to tap as well instead of back squats. So, really, even for our safety bar squats or our front squats, we just want our athletes to be strong enough. So, I don't care if you can squat 600 pounds. I'd rather take you and put you in a position that's more challenging to your strength and your stability and have you using less weight, because I think that's going to translate better on the ice with less overall wear and tear on your body, which really is the secret sauce. So those are a couple options for a back squat. Hamstring curl machine, again, there's tons of them. Some at the gym, you lay down and you curl your heel to your bum. Some they have you set up in this position and you curl your heel to your bum. But again, in real life, in real sport, our hamstring doesn't really do that. And you'll be like, well, in sprinting it does. Well, no, actually it doesn't really. It sort of holds that knee in that position, it's a secondary hip extensor, but our glutes is what does that. Our hamstrings really fire to shorten that lever so that we can recover it, and then to decelerate our leg as we extend it and get ready for our next step. That's kind of how they work. So we do some hamstring curl work, in particular like our skiers, football players, soccer players, those athletes that are at risk of ACL tears. We want to make sure that, yes, that those hamstrings are strong, because some of the research suggests or shows that when the hamstring to quadricep ratio is way out of balance, those athletes are at higher risk of a tear. So we will use just a stability ball to do a hamstring curl. So we just come up into our bridge position. We do two versions. So starting out, we just start like this, keeping the hips stationary. So there isn't really an overall length change of the hamstring, but just lets them get a feel for it. But then we would go to sort of lock in this position at the hips and curl the heels towards the bum and do a nice hamstring curl that way. And then we have other, variations. We'll go to single legs and different tempos and that kind of thing. But we do, so when we really truly trying to work our posterior chain, we'll do way more deadlift pattern stuff. So we'll use the trap bar to do some Hex Bar Deadlift. And again, it's not, we don't squat the trap bar, we do a deadlift pattern. So it's a hip hinge coming through that gets the weight moving. So that's one. Again, it's not just our hamstrings. Our glutes are going to be the prime mover. Our back extensors are going to be doing some work. The other one that we use a lot, different variations. Where did you come from? I swear I just kicked you over there. Stay. This thing comes back again, we're going to have a problem. Okay. So single leg, stiff-legged deadlift variations. So coming in here, really squeezing that glute and that hamstring to pull yourself up tall, keeping your hips nice and level to the floor, just bringing the dumbbells to about mid-shin range, not rounding your back. That's another substitute for a hamstring curl. Moving on, number 4, that adductor machine. And you guys love it because you're like, I'm a goalie and I need strong groins. And you sit down and you do it again. I think it probably puts you more at risk for a tear than helps you. So a couple suggestions. One that I really like, and you'll be shocked if you try it the next time you go to the gym at how challenging it is for you. And even for your leg that quote unquote isn't working, it'll be so fatigued. But it's just a pulley adductor. So if we come here, this leg is straight, this leg is straight, going heel to toe, again keeping that knee straight, coming out to the side, coming toe to heel, keeping the knee straight. So guys always want to bend their knees when they come behind, keep it straight. So we're getting different adductor muscles in different planes of motion, but also this one has to stabilize, otherwise we just get pulled over. So that's probably one that we start everybody with. And then we have some that I think are kind of nice, a little bit more functional ones. So this is a fancy piece of equipment. It's called a 10-pound plate on a towel. Pretty expensive. You can probably order it on Amazon somewhere. But so you're just here, a little bit of a knee bend, and then you're pulling together. Take a step, pull together. Take a step, pull together. So again, this side has to stabilize, this side is shortening, and that builds a deep burn after a while. So those are a couple for your adductors. Then the other one that I still get emails about, should I just go run 3 miles for cardio? No. I mean, if you love to run, you could do it once a week, kind of as a special treat, but it won't be your cardio training. If you wanted to do some kind of sort of longer duration cardio training, I'm a pretty big fan of the shuttle run. So how that works is you basically measure out 25 yards and, rough measure or whatever. You set a cone at each end. And then we do 300, 200, and 100 yard shuttle runs. So if we do a 300 yard shuttle run, we start at one cone, we run to the other one and back, that's 50 yards. So yeah, 50 yards. So then we do that 6 times and we take our time for it. Our high level guys, the guys in our Hockey Strong program, they all have to do it in under 60 seconds. And they have to be able to do 2 of them with 5 minutes rest in between, under 60 seconds. So just, see where you're at. And then a 200 yard shuttle is just there and back 4 times, 100 yard shuttle is there and back 2 times. Because it gets a change of direction, the acceleration, the deceleration, and that's the exhausting part of it. We don't use 300s as much as we used to. We use them a little more sparingly and go a little harder on 200s because they're sort of around that 38 second, 37 second range. And I kind of like that range. Because the 300s are just super baggers. We still do them. We did them yesterday. They were really fun. The boys loved them. But so that's what there's a million things you could do, but that's something specific that you could do instead. So do this. Don't do that. Just make the most out of your time. I know it's just because you don't know, and you go in and you're in the gym and they're like, oh yeah, this gives you good strong legs, and you're like, I want good strong legs. So you're doing it. But when you understand how the body works and how the body creates force and how you need stabilization to exert your force, then some of this other stuff is like, oh yeah, okay, that tends to make more sense. So if you want it all put together for you in a package, tied up with a bow, exactly what to do, how many sets, reps, what days, all that stuff, then probably check out Shutout Academy. You can get it for a week for only $1, just to see if it's right for you, because I don't want you spending money to get it if you're not going to do it. It really is the number one reason people don't follow through. So made it just $1 and you can check it out if you want. But otherwise, I will catch you next week with another exciting episode of Goalie Training Pro TV.